What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with a Fjordur trailer breakdown for you all today. Now, guys, if you haven't seen the Fjordur trailer yet, go check it out. It's on the channel. You can check it out right now. But we're going to be doing a trailer breakdown of it because there are some pretty juicy bits in this trailer. So let's get into it. Now, I might miss some stuff. I've watched this trailer about 3 times, 4 times, and tried to pick up on everything that's been through it. I've paused it, I've looked at it, so we'll be pausing it and going through it as we progress through the video. Nonetheless, if you find yourselves enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, but let's jump into it. So, first off, we're given a brief overview of Fjordur. We've got a Quetzal in the background, we've got the Dwarven Mountain here, and then just here is actually a Dwarven Keep. I know this because of the time I've spent playing the modded version. Fun fact, real quick, I was actually one of the first content creators to cover Fjordur when it first went live way back, like I think 2 years ago maybe, about that. So yeah, fun fact about that. Now, we then come into this next shot, and already we have a glimpse of the Andrewsarchus just here in the corner. So we've got an Andrewsarchus just here, and the Fjordhawk obviously flying around. But yeah, that's our first look at the Andrewsarchus, actually, aside from like the other trailers. So we can see there that he's kind of just chilling, walking around. He doesn't seem aggressive towards the trike. We've got a Theri in the background over here as well. And other than that, there's not really much else going on in that scene other than some really cool looking waterfalls. Now, this next scene, we've got another one of the Dwarven Mountain holds. We see this later on in the trailer with the Desmodus, but up here we've got the Fjordhawk as well, so another shot of the Fjordhawk. We also have a dire bear down here. So pretty much what the goal of this is to go through and find out what exact DLC creatures will be shown, will be on the map and whatnot. Now, here we have our first glimpse of Jotunheim. Now, Jotunheim you can travel to through one of the portals located on the standard map. And obviously, Jotunheim is home to ice wyverns, as you can see here, and the blue runestone. So let's keep going here. And then we have our shot of the fort. We have a fire wyvern here in the distance. So far that's 2 wyverns confirmed. We've got the ice wyvern and the fire wyvern. I do believe they were the only 2 wyverns that were present on the actual Fjordur map as well, the modded version. And you could find the fire wyverns over in the life area. So let's keep going. So we've got a nice big PvP base up here. Now, this is Asgard's realm. So it looks like griffins will be available in this realm as well. As that, we've got some mammoths over here in the distance, but there are some more big reveals for the Asgard map. Now, this is the big scene here. So, straight up, we've got a rock drake over here in the corner. Finally, a rock drake on a map other than Aberration, which is a relief. We also have some Shadowmane footprints here. So already there's the Shadowmane confirmed and the rock drake confirmed to be on the map. Now, I wasn't entirely sure whether they were going to put the rock drake on because it was supposed to be on Valgiro as well, but they cancelled that as well. So it's good to see that we've got rock drakes finally on another map, and the Shadowmane as well. So already based off that, I'm going to say that they will be included and they will be tameable. In this next shot, we have a frame of a sunken ship. We've got a canoe and we've got the Tree of Life in the background there, as well as an ice wyvern flying overhead. So nothing too crazy about this shot here. Once again, we've got some snow owls, so they are confirmed for the map by the looks of it. And then we get our first glimpse of Vanaheim. So Vanaheim is pretty much the foresty area of the map, which once again you will need to transport to, very similarly to Jotunheim. We've got a Stego over here in the distance and a Tapihara. Now, interesting thing about this Tapihara, it does look like it is possibly one of the R variants that was found on Genesis Part 2. So let's keep moving on here. We also have a Featherlight here in the distance. And there is the Fjordhawk again. We've got our first shot of a base with griffins once again confirmed. Now, if we come back here to this section, there's also a sleeping Shadowmane just there. So straight off the bat, we've already been confirmed that we can tame Shadowmanes. There's a Paracer up there. We've got some Ovises and then a Pelagornis down here. So boom, Shadowmanes will be tameable on the new Fjordur map, which is great. We've also got some mannequins here. So it does look like they used possibly the S Plus mod to film these trailers. Let's continue here. Another new fact as well, we have the R Direwolf right here. So it does look like there will be the R variants across the map, which is awesome. So we've got the R Direwolf just there. I would wager that the Tapihara as well in Vanaheim was the R variant as well. And just here as well, we've got some R Iguanodons and R Raptors. I don't believe they're aberrant. They don't look aberrant. So I'm pretty sure they are the R variants as well. Once again, confirming more R variants for the map, and that is another look at Vanaheim. This is the swamp that is located on the main map of Fjordur, and it's a really cool vibe. I'd heavily recommend checking it out when the actual thing drops. And over here, I know they tried to hide it, but they're not that good. We've got a Bloodstalker in the distance. So if you look on the left-hand side just here, you can see that there's a Bloodstalker walking around. So it seemingly looks like they have confirmed that pretty much every DLC creature will be on this map, which is honestly awesome because Ark is coming to the end of its lifespan. So it's good to see that we are getting all the other DLC creatures. Now, this is the portal room that will take you to the multiple various realms. We've got the Vanaheim realm, the Jotunheim realm, and Asgard just here in front of us. I'm not entirely sure what the costs of it would be at the moment, but it does look like we will be able to transport to them. As well as that, he is riding the Direwolf, and that does look like an Aberrant or an Direbear. I'm not entirely sure about the Baryonyx, however. Let's keep going. We've got a Desmodus Draculae with a Magmasaur in the background there. So once again, it does look like we could possibly be getting Magmasaur eggs. Not entirely sure, but it does look like we have lava to be able to breed the Magmasaurs in as well. Let's keep going here. We've got our first cave with a Thylacoleo and a Direbear walking into what seems to be a fort. I'm pretty sure I have done this cave as well, but once again, they have changed it. This is the Jotunheim cave as well. So let's keep playing. And we have another cave, which I believe this one is on the standard map. We've got a Thylacoleo in the distance, which once again does appear to be an R variant. And we do have a Direbear just here as well. And now this is a really cool one that I wanted to discuss. So we've got the Featherlight. Now this Featherlight actually flies us to the Aberration Zone. Now, cool thing about this Aberration Zone is that it's actually kind of like a space area. It was like this on the mod map. I don't know if it's going to be the same, but essentially there was low gravity here. So it was very similar to Gen 2 space biome. However, there's nothing here that I've been able to see that actually shows us any of the space creatures. So like the Astrodelphus, the Cjthecheesedj. I have looked at this for a while. So unless there's like a little gate area like they had on Genesis 2 where you could actually go out into the space zone, I'm not entirely sure whether or not we'll have access to the Cjthecheesedjs or the Astrodelphuses. Because as far as I'm aware, I could not see them in this spatial area. Next up, we're on the Asgard realm. We've got a Fjordhawk coming in with a landing. We've got some R-Equises in the background here and the big obelisk up in the sky there. Fjordhawk looks like it has gone ahead and gathered some resources back for our players. We then have access to another cave full of penguins. Now, this is something really cool here. So you've got a cage above. We've got a pit just below here and a Megaloceros wandering around. Now, there's a stone in the background there that says, "Now the pickies will grunt when they hear how the old boar suffered." Now, for those of you that haven't watched the show, this is a reference to Ragnar Lothbrok. Now, Ragnar Lothbrok dies to the British, technically the English, and they put him in a cage above a snake pit and they drop him into the snake pit and pretty much he dies to the snakes. So I am 98% sure that this is a throwback to good old Ragnar Lothbrok hanging above his snake pits, because I'm pretty sure that quote there is what Ragnar says before he dies. So let's keep going here. I do like how they highlight that. We've got another little shrine here in what appears to be Jotunheim. So I'm not entirely sure what this is about, but it's still nonetheless pretty cool. We then have the Desmodus flying through the Dwarven tunnels, I guess, the Dwarven hold. This was the actual cave that we're shown at the beginning here. So that cave there actually leads us into this area here where the Desmodus is. However, the thing to note about this Desmodus is that it's actually got a flyer on it. You can see the grips in the Desmodus's mouth. So that's pretty interesting. As well as that, there is also a Desmodus just behind it, which I'm not entirely sure if there is a player on that. You can see there was one there and there's also one just at the bottom there. We have some traps being sprung in what looks to be an artifact cave run. And then we have some PvP action going on just here with some wyverns. I don't pick up anything new in these segments. There is a brief shot of an Andrewsarchus just here on the battlements. So it is possible that the Andrewsarchus will have its own targeting mode where you can auto fire. Not entirely sure about that though, because there obviously could be a player in there. We've got the bee cave once again. We've got another cave with Desmoduses, and then this is the big one. This is the big one. It does appear that we will be getting FERNIR as the boss. Now, the reason I say that is because of these spines. When you tame up a normal FERNIR, the spine attack will come out and it'll be a glowing blue. Now, this FERNIR here is bright red, and his eyes are also bright red. So that, to me, screams like FERNIR will be the boss. As well as that, another note to take is that it does look like there is a big structure behind him that isn't player made. And as well as that, there are these chains located across this battlefield, which honestly I have not seen anywhere in the map of Fjordur. So I'm going to wager that FERNIR is the boss of the map. We'll be getting a Gamma FERNIR, a Beta FERNIR, and an Alpha FERNIR by the looks of it. But nonetheless, let's continue. We have another lava cave here. We have the Dwarven tunnels and the Dwarven mines. This place is absolutely filled to the brim with metal nodes. So this is where you need to come to fill up with metal. And then we have a shot here. Now, you have to blink and you'll miss it. We've got some Equises riding out. Now, I will sort of go through this frame by frame. Keep an eye out on the left-hand side of the screen, though. We've got some cool structures, but just here, that's not a direwolf. We have our first glimpse of a tamed FERNIR just here. You can definitely tell that that is not a direwolf. FERNIR has much sharper teeth. He's got a much more streamlined face, like a slender face. That there is our first glimpse of a tamed FERNIR, which is pretty exciting, It doesn't have the spikes coming out of it because that is a special attack. So I am wondering whether or not they've just patched over Garuga's FERNIR straight from the modern map into their map. But that is our first glimpse of a FERNIR. So let's continue here. We've got an Arthylocolio here, a battle taking place in the Redwoods. I do know this castle location as well. And these wars are actually destroyed like this on the map, which is pretty cool. As for this scene, nothing really new here, unfortunately. We've got some combat going on. You can see Doedicurus in the background, some Megalos here, people riding on Equises. Why they're riding Equises and not FERNIRs, I'm not entirely sure. But we have a shot of the Andrewsarchuses coming in, guns blazing, just running through this settlement. As well as that, we also have... Let's just back up here a bit. We also have the volcanic variant of the Triceratops, of the Trike, which is actually really awesome. So it does look like we will have access to like X creatures as well. So the X Allos, the X Trikes, maybe even X Rexes. Obviously, it's still too early to know, but Fjordur will be dropping very soon. So we're very keen to cover it. But I do like the way that they get the Trike to charge through the structure here and just demolish it all. It's a really cool effect. And then finally, we have Mjolnir, the tech sword skin. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this throwing animation. I have a feeling that that was put purely on for the trailer and the retrieving of it, but we'll have to wait and see. Nonetheless, I'm still pretty excited to get our hands on Mjolnir here. So it looks pretty exciting, but the trailer, definitely very cool, very fun. I'm really excited to jump into it. We will be covering everything about Fjordur on the channel, so keep an eye out for it all. But so far, it does look like a lot of the creatures are set to return on Fjordur. We didn't see any Maywings. We didn't see any Tech Striders, obviously. No Astrodelphuses or Astroceduses so far, but that does not mean that they could not be here. But a lot of the other DLC creatures, such as the Shadowmanes and the Rock Drakes, which is really good, and Wyverns. So, nonetheless, guys, that is going to wrap up this video for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know if you picked up anything that I missed or anything like that. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.